Next online. Not yet. Asante sana. Second, next online, local content prime time award. Prime time award, FTA TV. Second runner-up, Ibru TV bronze. A big round of applause for them. TV silver. Ebru makofi ya Ebru tafadhali. Asante sana Ebru wa FTA TV. Asante sana Science TV. Asante sana. Makofi ya tafadhali wa Prime Time Award FTA TV winner. Please put your hands together for Pillar TV Gold. Pillar TV mkoapi. Makofi ya tafadhali kwa DJ Mwamushi. Subscription broadcasting services. One runner-up here. Silver trophy and certificate goes to Wananchi Group Kenya Limited. Silver trophy. Makofi out of that. There can only be one winner here. One winner. Local content subscription broadcasting services goes to Multi-Choice Kenya Limited Gold Trophy. Mungu wapi? Wanajide Mwamushia. Broadcasting Awards. Children and Broadcasting Awards. Broadcasting Awards. Highest local children programming order award. Number 3, Citizen TV Bronze. Citizen TV Bronze. Number 2, Deliverance TV Silver Trophy.
You found yourself to be a part, you found yourself as a single parent. It could also be because of divorce. Yes. Divorce is on the increase. So that's, I don't want us to talk about the reasons why. I want us to empower single parents, yes, basically, and to encourage them. I think that's something that is more, it's living forward, you know, yes, instead of trying to figure out the reasons why.
Very true. Yes, like I would like to address any single, not quite mother or even a single dad. Number one thing you should always remember is, according to the word of God, that Jeremiah 1:5, before you're formed in your mother's womb, yes, God knew you. So you're not an accident. And I always love to refer to what Rick Warren says in his book, The Purpose-Driven Life. He says there are no illegitimate children.
Yes.
Maybe just illegitimate parents.
If there are no illegitimate children, then how can there be illegitimate parents?
That's his quote on The Purpose-Driven Life. So we may not have been meant to marry, but we became parents.
Yes.
So we may not have been meant, but the child was meant, because the child is first conceived in the mind of God.
That's correct.
Before they are ever conceived in the womb, yes, of the mother.
That's true.
Yes.
And you see, there are very different ways that a child comes, or different circumstances that a child comes.
Yes.
Some are good, some are just normal, mundane, others are planned, others are through IVF. So there's so many different reasons. But for so long as it has happened, it means God has allowed that,
yes,
that path. Yeah, so it's good to actually, I like that there are no illegitimate children.
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody should feel that they're here as per God's plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also love one writer. I was actually reading a book just the other day in passing, and he says that God does not allow conception unless he's meeting a need.
Okay.
That's why we see Hannah may have cried year after year after year for a child.
Yes.
But God only allowed her to conceive Samuel,
yes,
when he wanted the need for a prophet met
That's right.
in Israel.
Yes.
That's why there's always that Galatians 4:4 at the fullness of time.
Yes.
And that's why I sit under Bishop Mark Karaoke, and he always says children are not a result of sex. Because if they were, we would not have childless couples.
But that's what we were told growing up, you know, especially girls. Make sure you do not indulge, because if you do, you're going to get pregnant. So you mean it's not obvious.
It is not. If it were, we would not have childless couples.
And there are very many
There are
childless
many.
couples. That's true.
Yes,
That means that there is a greater purpose whenever a child is conceived,
very true.
irrespective of the circumstances of the child being conceived. A lot of times you find people they don't want to accept the situation that comes up. What would be your advice to a parent who finds themselves with a child and they're single?
The number one thing that a parent should do is that it may have been an ugly situation.
Okay.
I met a lady in 2016, and she talked about her process as a single mother and how she became a single mom after 18 years.
Okay.
She was the child of a high police officer who had a driver, and the parents had traveled, and she was raped by the driver. She never talked about it until 18 years later during one of our conferences. And you can imagine, this is a woman who had lived with that hurt, with that pain, because she would cry. And this is something that had happened 18 years before. So the first thing you should do as a mother is you should handle yourself.
Okay.
Like I'll say Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil is a counselor.
Yes.
And he says the best gift you can give your children is to be strong.
Okay.
So you're both strong physically, you're also strong emotionally, and you
Yes.
cannot be strong emotionally if you've not handled pain.
Yes.
So you need to handle pain. See a counselor,
Yes.
go through a session, handle that, and then accept,
Yeah.
because
Accept.
this someone you will be with for the next
For the rest of forever.
70 years.
Exactly.
So you can imagine. So love your children. And as a single mother or a single father, you should always affirm your children.
Okay.
Let them know you're proud of them
Yes.
and talk about it in their presence.
And that is not possible if you yourself have not accepted the fact
Yes.
that this is a situation. I am a single parent. You've got to accept that.
Very true.
And you know, sometimes it's like you accept it, but then in other ways you're not accepting. For example, let me talk about a situation which sometimes occurs. You know, you might be a single mom, for example, or a single dad, and you still want to remarry. So you find that when you meet this person who you're thinking of marrying, you don't want to mention the fact that that you have children. Does it mean you have accepted or you have not accepted? How should that whole issue be handled?
You may have accepted, but you've not been able to. You may have accepted because the child is there.
Yes.
But the one thing I always tell women or men, and you're single, if you feel the need to remarry,
Yes.
okay, number one, even before remarrying,
It could be
number
your first
one
marriage,
thing,
by the way.
Yes.
Okay.
Number one thing you should always do,
Yes.
never let your children see several people of the opposite sex. You know, like today, so your children are like ule anko wa Garden City, that anko of this, that anko of that. Do not introduce your child or your children to people unless you've been able to verify this relationship and you've been able to ascertain this is something that is futuristic.
Yes.
And then from there, number one thing you should never do as a single parent,
Yes.
you should never go ahead to remarry before your child or your children have established a relationship with the man or woman. What do I mean?
Okay.
You've already fallen in love with this man or
Yes.
this lady, if you're a single dad, you have a relationship.
Yes.
Let your children establish a relationship with him.
Before.
Let them have a relationship with that person
Yes.
away from you.
Okay.
In a way, you're not just the connecting factor. They have a friendship.
Exactly.
Let them own the process.
Okay.
Let them also feel true.
Yes.
it's okay. Let
And
them be
include them.
happy.
Yes.
They feel we are part of this process.
Okay.
You should not push someone down their throat.
Yeah,
You know,
I know. And
let
it
them
takes
accept.
time.
It takes time. You have to heal. Because like we say, you don't build a new house on a wrong foundation.
Yes.
You first have to deal with whatever caused this current situation,
Yes.
which you should be proud of.
Yes.
And then from there, now when you know you're totally healed,
Yes.
don't get married because of pressure. Don't get married because you feel children are being visited in school by both their dad and mom, and I'm going here alone. No, don't get married because of pressure. Get married because you feel, and get married because you're getting married not just for the sake of marriage, but
Yes.
you're getting married to fulfill a purpose
Yes.
with your spouse. Why are you
Yes.
getting married? Because you don't get married to get babies and build a home and then what?
Yes.
Get married to fulfill a certain purpose.
That's true.
So include your children in the process.
Yes.
So deal with whatever made you a single parent, and then from there, now build a new foundation.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's very good advice, because acceptance and dealing with the situation is key, and it even creates an environment at home that is comfortable.
Yes.
Because if you've not accepted something and dealt with it, you find that even children are walking on eggshells around when it comes to that topic. Because children will always ask,
Yes.
where is my mom? Where is my dad? What happened? They may ask you, they may not ask you, they may ask a relative, but depending on your response, they're going to know this is something that we should talk about or we should never talk about.
And not go zone.
And it will create an environment in your home,
Yes.
So you have to be very careful. And to be honest, you may not know how to deal. You may not know because, it's not an easy thing to discuss.
No.
What are some of the ways that you can be able to start giving this information to your children at different ages in an appropriate way so that they feel comfortable to discuss? Because you don't want to raise your children in an environment where you are you're gagging them, You're not allowing them to ask questions. You're not allowing them to be themselves. How do you cope with that as a single parent?
Back to my point,
Yes.
the first thing you should do is deal with yourself.
Deal with yourself. You
Yes.
keep coming back to that. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because you'll notice if there's a lot of bile, even in the society.
Yes.
So if you've not handled a situation well, that topic comes up, or you see that person, you're still bitter.
Yes.
Number one, forgive.
Okay.
I've learned it's always easy to forgive that other person. It's always easy to forgive those other people. Let's say maybe you were sent away from a home.
Yes.
You may forgive the in-laws, you may forgive the relatives, you may forgive the man, but there's always something I normally love telling people.
Yes.
Even when someone comes to me maybe for counseling,
Okay.
I tell them the hardest thing, forgive yourself.
Because you
Yes.
keep thinking, how did I find myself here?
Was I
Why
that
me?
dumb?
What was I thinking?
So first forgive yourself,
Forgive yourself.
and then from there, walk the process.
Okay.
Like forgiveness, you don't say, I've forgiven. You forgive, and then you walk through the healing process.
Okay.
And then when you're healed, even when your children come and ask you, where is your mom? Even if the mom was arrested somewhere in Mathare because of selling changa, you'll not tell them, oh, you're sasa. You're not angry.
Yes.
So the first thing you should do is forgive yourself,
Yeah.
and then heal.
Okay.
Give yourself time to heal. Okay,
Okay.
people heal differently.
That's
People have different times of healing.
yes.
And people should not push you. People should not tell you, it's
take
5
your
years, get over this. No, allow yourself to heal.
But at the same time, you need to keep in mind that your children are growing.
yes.
So if it's going to take you 18, 25 years to heal,
Now
they'll not be adults.
that one is already a chronic issue.
Yes.
That's why we say you should deal with it,
Yeah.
heal, and then now when it comes up, even when your children are coming to you and they're asking about their dad, or their mom, you'll not have anger issues.
Exactly.
And the way you're saying that children walk on
Eggshells,
like they're tiptoeing
Yes.
in their own house, it's because when you're bitter, when you're angry, you're more or less like a serpent.
Yes.
They don't know when you'll bite.
Exactly.
Yes. Even the way you talk, you're just something else.
Exactly. And you know that fear is not a good environment for the children to grow up in, you know, because they tend to normalize it, and later on they might end up in family situations which are similar, you know, and that's what you don't want. So I like that. So is our society open to people healing through such situations? Are people visiting maybe counselors to go through this? Because you know what? Sometimes you need help. You need somebody to hold you in the journey. Fine, maybe there are people who can be able to deal with it by themselves, but we're not all the same. Is it okay to seek counseling? Is it okay to seek the help of maybe a psychologist? What do you advise?
That's my point. Go for counseling.
Yes.
Go for counseling, although it is not very popular.
Yes.
People have issues. But I normally say, even if you feel like you don't have that grace, or you feel like you don't want to see a counselor, the people will say maybe it's expensive, or someone will say, I don't feel like I can trust anyone. Maybe it's someone who's been betrayed.
Yes.
So they feel if I talk to someone, they will also talk about it. They'll betray me. I tell someone there's also a process of healing.
Yes.
Get a book, get a pen. Every day, do a journal.
Okay.
Express your feelings. Say how angry you are. Say how ashamed of yourself you are. Do a journal.
Basically, the important thing is to get it out.
Get it out.
Instead of suppressing it, because then it will look for ways of expressing.
Yes.
So get it out. If it's talking to somebody, look for somebody to talk to, a professional.
Yes.
If it is writing, right? So whatever way, just look for a means of
letting it out.
letting it out. That's important.
Yes. And I also say that it is also important to have an accountability partner.
Okay.
Yes. As a single parent, have an accountability partner. Someone who will call you and tell you, I don't like the way you're handling your children.
Yeah.
I don't like the way you talk to your children. I don't like your friendship with so-and-so. I don't like, get that person.
Yeah,
An
that person who will
accountability
be
partner.
honest.
An accountability partner is not always someone you're happy about,
Yes.
but it is someone you need in life.
Yeah, you need
Someone who will tell you as it is.
That's true.
Yes.
Because you know what? Even when you're facing forward, your back is exposed.
Yes.
And there may be a lot of issues that you're not able to see very clearly.
Yes.
And so it always helps to have that person who can be able, who, of course, you trust them in terms of they're your friends, but you're also able to listen to them when they're criticizing you.
Yes.
So it's important to have that.
It is important. And if your family is supportive,
Yeah. It can be a family member, huh?
it can be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be a church person,
Yes.
just someone you know you're comfortable with. And someone you know has you.
They have
you
your
know,
back.
Yes, you know you should have vetted this person.
Exactly.
And this is even someone I can trust with, that dark part of me.
Yes.
Yes, because as a person in life,
Yeah.
there's that Anne that we know,
Yes.
but there's another Anne that you know.
Yeah. That I've not exposed to you.
Yes.
Okay, guess what? We need to go on a break. We need to come back and catch up from there.
Yes.
So viewer, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be right back. Keep it here. Thanks.
Hey,
Elijah.
I'm a young baller. Every
What's up, my people? This is Brand Senior, Mr. KCA, Mr. Glam International Kenya, People's Choice. And the message is, if you are out there and you have any talent, all art, if you have any artistic thing, this is the place to be. Wednesday and Thursday.
hey,
Mi ningekuwa dem ningeitwa Joy, fruit of the Holy Spirit. Lakini si ati mnikule kama nimeiva.
JD on the track.
Hii ni wine ya word. Junajua spirit zenu zimezoea 8 PM na masaa ya 2:2. So 7 PM ningependa mnitune in kama nipashe cause I'm your fellow citizen.
8:30 PM manze on your favorite channel. I'm talking about GBS TV.
Hey, I'm a young baller. Every
Hello, viewer. Welcome to
Chungu Jajami.
My name is Tigist Hailu.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ruben West.
I'm Dr. Charles Mukuka.
From the United States of America.
I come from Ethiopia.
From Zambia.
I love Kenya very much.
I love the Kenyan people.
Love is not by confession. Love is by action.
Come on now.
When you are a husband, you are not a husband.
It's very important.
You can count the seeds in an apple, but you can never count the number of apples in a seed.
Her phone is her phone. My phone is my phone.
You only know what you know.
Who forced you?
The more you spend time together, the more stronger.
A woman is like a Bible.
To tell me that they were born and it wasn't from a female, I'd like to know.
A woman, she's a good asset. And a woman, she's a very, very good investment.
When you're up, your family knows who you are. But when you're down, you'll figure out who your family is.
Thank you so much.
Now it's time for speaking. Everyone, are you ready?
Kwa mtu alikuwa anauma. Si niliwaambia.
Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me.
Kwaheri.
Everywhere, GBS.
Right. Ni nani? Ni nani? Carry on. Hola. Genius DJ. Genius DJ. Genius DJ. Genius hype man. Wow. It's bigger, it's better, it's live. I'll be your host, Ipola the Experience.
Genius Republic DJ Karian.
Join us for Ekomziki each and every Sunday from 8 a.m.
For the best in gospel music as we host your favorite gospel ministers.
Every Sunday, live on your favorite station, GBS TV. Carry on! Hey!
Hello, viewer. The woman is burdened with so much, such that they don't have time for themselves.
If you don't go after what you want, there's going to be hurt, there's going to be disappointment, there's going to be regret, there's going to be let down.
I love people. People will always have a view.
They will always have an
Whether
opinion.
you like it or not.
It's always there.
People will put you in a shame box.
You have to love yourself first.
I'm not that person.
It should come from deep conviction, and I'm talking about conviction. I'm not talking about emotional giving.
Then that should pose a big problem.
A man won't handle that. They will just run.
Families break. Marriages don't exist anymore.
There's so many people out there pretending like they don't have the problem. Pretending like their relationship is not on the rock.
What was that?
That's nonsense.
Get lost.
No. I think that is wrong.
Go ahead, tell me. I'm waiting.
Who questions you?
Like moving on swiftly.
Moving on swiftly.
It's pleasurable. No one gets there without trials.
Yeah, you've got to.
It's the way life is.
Your greatest ability is possibility.
The youth, we need to change the way we approach issues. The world out here is very harsh.
I was just waiting for things to happen in life, like finish school, then just go to career life.
Some people are depressed. You're not depressed because you are, you have a problem.
Some people are depressed because they're frustrated.
So we young people, in as much as we claim that we are denied opportunities of leadership, I think we also have to assert ourselves as leaders.
And the one challenge that I keep telling the young people, it is the mindset.
Mind education is so important in many different ways.
When you go to the world, they don't ask you, are you Kikuyu or are you Luya? Hey, mimi Luya bwana, unajua huko Kakamega tunakulanga kuku. Now,
Everywhere GBS.
Welcome back, viewer. Thank you so much for keeping it here. Today we're talking about single parenting and with a very positive focus on how to manage and manage better, how to thrive whenever you find yourself in a situation, because it is a situation that is becoming very common because of many reasons. So welcome back, and we shall just continue from where we picked up. Remember that we are on YouTube. The channel is GBS TV Kenya. On Facebook, it's GBS Kenya. And if you want to send us a message on SMS, the number to use is 21144. We already have one person who has asked. Okay. You know, earlier on we talked about how you should protect your children from somebody you want to marry. Like when you're dating, don't expose them to every person. Mm-hmm. But when you finally decide this is the person that you want to get married to, as a single parent, you now bring in the children and let them have a relationship. So somebody is asking, if your children reject the person you have chosen, you know, you find yourself in a dilemma because you love your children and you want to make them happy, yet there's this person you want to marry. What should you do at that point?
I still insist that you should not push someone.
Okay.
As in, you should not impose someone on them. Mm-hmm. What I've learned with children, whether you're single, whether you're a single parent or even in a complete family, yes, have a good relationship with your children.
Yes.
In as much as we don't say, you know, as in like your kids should not just hang on you,
Yes.
but make sure you have a very good relationship with your children.
Mm-hmm.
Let them be your friends.
Yes.
As in you can talk, as in you can have,
channels
yes,
should be open.
As in like you can have your, you know, that time where you can talk issues affecting the family, maybe
yes,
an hour per week.
Yes.
I know of a single dad, on Tuesday, even if you called him, he's not there. He has no time for you.
Mm-hmm.
He has a time with the daughter,
mm-hmm,
and on this time they will talk.
Yeah,
what are you going through in school?
Mm-hmm.
So if already you've established a good relationship with your children,
yes,
they'll be able to tell you,
yes,
what is it they don't like about this woman? Mm-hmm. What is it they don't like about this man?
If anything, they might save you from a toxic relationship.
Yes.
Because you might be a bit desperate in wanting
Mm-hmm.
to settle down.
Yes.
And there may be some things you're not seeing.
Yes.
Or because I also think that your children want you to be happy.
True.
And if they see that the person you've linked up with is bringing you a lot of happiness, basically that situation is joyous, is making you fulfilled, mm-hmm, they'll also like that person.
Yes.
Because they don't, you know, they're happy that you're happy, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
And so if you know, when you're in love, I even tell people, if you're in love with somebody, don't pray over it. Because even when you pray over it, yes. So if you know it's you who is in love,
yes,
but your children will be able to detect something.
Yes.
So if we already have a friendship, a good relationship, a good communication channel with your children, you know, there's always that place where they're able to let it out.
Exactly.
There'll be a child who you take them to KFC.
Yes.
Immediately they eat the chips and the chicken. They will tell you anything.
I know.
You know, when you've been able to learn that, you'll be able to talk to your child, yes, or your children, and they will tell you,
yes,
what is it they don't like about this man? What is it they don't like about this woman?
Yes.
And then from there you can see, is it something you can handle, or is it something you cannot be able to handle?
Exactly.
Because in as much as, you know, we've seen on the news, there are women who are so desperate for marriage.
Yeah.
I saw a lady who killed her 2-year-old daughter in Dandora.
Imagine.
Just because the man doesn't
How
like the daughter.
Yes.
You know, and so you should just establish what is it that the children don't like about this person.
Yeah. Give them a listening ear.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And try and, if it is something that you can win them over, you win them.
Yes.
If it is not, maybe you need to give it more time.
And then we should know there's nothing like a perfect person.
On the other hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are also things you see about me that you don't like, but you see there's something I can live with.
Exactly.
There's something I can handle.
Yes.
So even this person, let them know. But long before you thought of marrying, let them know.
Yes.
By the, you know, there's something I've learned. If you have a need at home, involve your children.
Okay.
Do you want to buy land? Sit your children down. As a normal family, you should have your time.
Yes.
Either you read 15 minutes in the evening, you read the word, you go through a Bible study, and then you pray. So during this time, teach them.
Yes.
We have these and these prayer items.
Yeah.
And then for some time, so you know, I'll be marrying in, let's say, November.
Yes.
And then tell them, let's pray for a mom. Let's pray for a dad. Would you like to have a dad? Would you like to have a mom? Let's pray over it. So let them pray, and in the process, even their spirit has accepted.
Exactly.
There'll be a mom coming here, there'll be a dad coming here. Because some children may feel, he's coming to replace my dad. She's coming to replace my mom.
Yes.
And so they may not be
agreeable to the whole idea.
Yes.
So those are things you need to talk about. And it's important because, you know, the older generation, we have been brought up to know that children are to be seen, not heard. But the children of nowadays, they want to be involved.
Yes.
They don't want things shoved down their throats, and things have changed. And you know what? That conversation can happen, and it can be even in a fun way, in a relaxed way. I like the way you're saying it. You know, you go to KFC, or as you're doing your prayer time, you know, in a very clever, wise way, introduce these topics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. Another thing that has come up from single parents is the issue of raising children by yourself. Here I am, let's say I'm a lady, I find myself as a single mom, but of course I know the father. How much should I pursue him to get involved, especially financially, in the lives of these children? Must he pay the fees? If he doesn't, must I take him to court? Must I take the children to court to also, you know, there's that whole custody thing?
Yes.
How much should you push?
I've learned something over time and even over different situations. It may be, maybe the lady left. The man, maybe he was violent, she left. Maybe I have a friend, the man brought in her best friend and wanted them to be two women in the house. She left. So do you think this woman would pursue the man for responsibility? My point is, cases differ.
Yeah,
cases differ. Because you may pursue someone and they will be fine. There's even someone you don't even need to pursue.
They just
will do it.
Advance.
Yeah, they will do it. They will go to the school. They will pay the school fees. Maybe they even have a weekend with the children. They have time, depending with the settlement issue. Maybe there's someone you left on an ugly situation. As it's someone you know, they are coming via Mombasa port and you want to use the Malaba exit. So it will depend, because I also, there's a girl who was pursuing that. She wanted child upkeep.
Yes.
And the man was very violent.
Okay.
So what happened is, you know, it's like a process. So when the lady went to the chief, this is what the chief told her. I know this man, and your child is not the only child. He has. And what he does, you know, there is that kabit where they will deduct money direct to you from the pay slip or something.
Yes.
He will resign. So what do you do in that situation? So he was working, let's say he was working with, let's say, ABC company or X company, and then he resigned. So what do you do from there?
You can't pursue, because
sometimes it calls for wisdom.
Yes.
It calls for wisdom. Check out. Is it something that will cause me pain?
Yes.
And I need to heal? Or is it something that will make your child go through. There are also men, maybe you got a child with a married man, and then the wife knows this part of my husband's salary goes to this girl's son or daughter.
Yes.
There are some who even go to the extent of killing the child.
I know. You really have to look at all the angles.
Yes.
The kind of exposure that you're bringing onto your children.
To the child.
Based on the people you're dealing with. You have to be wise about that. Because ultimately, now when your child is killed,
then what?
Honestly,
yes.
It was not worth it.
Yes.
And one thing I must say about single parents, especially single moms, I must give it up to them a lot because they really, really try to work hard for the children. And, you know, that makes their children to be very proud of them, especially when they put them through school, through university. A lot of them look back at their moms and they're so proud because they know how hard it was. Yeah. And I'm sure the same applies even for the parents who are having single dads. It's just that they're not as common, and most of the common stories that we know are of single moms. So that is okay, but sometimes I also wonder, when it takes you out of home so much, because you make your children to be like adults, little adults. You know what I mean? I know. Ask me. How is the balance there? You know.
You know, it is true. The children are forced sometimes to grow up early.
Yes.
They're forced to become responsible. Like I said, I have 2 boys.
Yes.
My son is 16. And I'll quote what one person said.
Yes.
My son can do what maybe a 40-year-old cannot do. Because
40-year-old.
Yes, because
the problem is the 40-year-olds, not your son.
Okay. He can cook.
Yes.
He can take care of his brother.
Yes.
I can leave the house, him in charge.
Responsible.
Yes. It may not be so nice as of now, but maybe it will help him in future. Because when he goes to campus, he'll not go somewhere to a kibanda to eat.
Yeah,
he'll cook. He'll cook. So everything in life has its advantage.
And pros and cons.
Yes.
That's true.
So whether there are also children in complete families who are going through the same.
Yeah,
I grew up in a complete family. My family is still complete by the grace of God, and we were responsible.
Yeah, you were
by the time I was in class 7, I would handle the cows after school.
Yes.
There were maybe I would fetch water. I would still cook because my sisters were older, and 3 were in campus. Were already in high school.
Yes.
So it's not like just a single parent home.
Exactly.
It's situations, because you can be both parents, but you're so busy. After work, you're in class, or maybe, so it's not necessarily a single parent home issue.
Exactly.
Yes. So to small adults are almost everywhere.
They're almost everywhere. And I'm happy you bring that up, because one of the things that I want single parents to realize is that some of the challenges they go through, they are the same challenges that even families where both parents are there go through.
Very true.
It's just that because you're a single parent, those are the lenses that you view your situation through. So you always think, oh, this is happening to me because I'm a single parent. But if you actually open yourself up more to other people, you realize what is happening to me is also happening to this other family, so that you stop carrying that unnecessary baggage.
Yes.
You know, and you free yourself of some unnecessary burdens, because this is normal. It is the age of whatever the issue is that you feel you're going through. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So I like that. I like your positivity, and I like your encouragement to them, because I know that children can thrive if they're given the correct environment. What about support when it comes to, let's say you're a mom and you want your sons to be talked to by somebody of the opposite gender? How do you go about creating that balance?
Vet someone.
Yeah.
Verify someone. Is it someone whose morals are upright?
Yes.
Because you not want also to expose your son to, maybe you want someone to your son about being responsible.
There's some things you can't talk about as a woman.
Yes. So you should also be very cautious the kind of person you're exposing your children to. Not just boys, but even girls.
Yes,
because you may take your daughter to a lady who is something else.
Yeah,
So it is very important to first establish,
Yes.
is this person someone of good morals?
Good moral standing,
Yes.
yeah.
Spiritually,
Yes.
emotionally, home-wise,
Yeah.
because in as much as we are raising boys or girls, we're also raising future husbands and wives.
Exactly.
So is it a man who, what is his stand on family? So what is he teaching your son? This is a woman, what is she teaching your daughter? Because you may bring, there's a girl I know of a single dad. So if she comes, she's brought to me and I tell her, the one thing you should never do, you should never allow someone to put you down. What am I
Exactly.
teaching your girl?
Yeah.
So you should also check the morals of the person.
Yes.
Yes.
So you have to vet them, but don't be afraid to introduce other people to help. You know, we say in Africa that it takes a village to raise a child.
Very true.
So don't be overprotective, because there are some things, you know, you're not 100% in everything. You also have strengths and weaknesses. So long as you've vetted the people that they're hanging out with, allow others in. It could be your parents, your siblings, your friends. Allow your children to have other people they can talk to. Cynthia?
Yes.
Yes.
You don't own your children, as in like you don't become that mother hen and put
I
your
know.
kids. Okay, it may not always be the appropriate time for them to go out, but you establish a time.
Yes.
Because there's also something I've learned with children. There's a way, even with a complete family,
Yes.
there's a way you should teach your children to first accept their home.
Exactly.
No, I don't need to go to my aunt's place to be happy.
Yes.
I can find happiness at home.
Yes.
But also, there's something I value about establishing your child's maybe talents. And from there, even when you're getting them a mentor, you get them a mentor in that line.
Exactly.
Yes.
Irrespective of whether you're a single parent or not.
Yes.
Let your children be happy. Let
Yes.
them thrive. That's what
Yes.
you're saying,
Yes.
basically. Because if you come at them always with the fact that you're a single parent, you're pulling them down. Let them thrive. God knows that they are a single parent family.
Yes.
It's not a surprise to him, and he let it happen.
He let it happen.
So nurture their talents. That's what you're saying.
Nurture their talent, and more so, something, even if you're a single mother of 4, 5, 6, or 7, the worst thing you can ever do to yourself is to allow it to get into you.
Yes.
I'm a single parent.
And put you down, you know?
You know, as in like, you're single, yes, but you're not deformed.
Yeah, you're okay.
You are complete.
You're not disabled.
That's why if you're emotionally strong,
Yes.
even as a single parent, someone will not be afraid to marry you. Because if you are a Woishe person,
yes,
it is like you'll be bringing this man into your life to complete you. But the fact remains, if a man should come into my life, he's coming to complement me,
that's right,
not to complete me. I, as Sarah, should be complete.
Yes.
And then the man comes, he should be complete too. That's why we should be two wholes. Now we become one.
I like that point.
Not like a half-half.
I know. No, you have to be whole.
Yes.
Accepting of your situation.
Yes.
And to be very honest, you know, people say that single parents cannot remarry. They do, and I know.
They do.
So many who have, and not even the ones with 4 kids, they actually marry. So that is a fallacy that you lie to yourself and you believe in, instead of working on yourself and accepting yourself. So I like that you've addressed it. And guess what? We're short of time, so please give your parting shot. Yeah.
Awesome. Like I said, being a single parent does not make you less of a human being. You should love your children, accept your children, accept it happened. And then from there, walk the process of healing. And even when you remarry not to be complete. Remarry for someone to come and compliment you. And above everything, always remember, your children are special. God gave them to you for a reason and a purpose. They are here to fulfill purpose. They are not here to inconvenience you. They are here even to make your life happy and even to make the society happy. So love your children, love the situation, and be happy with what is going on now, because everything happens for a reason and for a season. God bless you.
Wow, what a lovely, lovely way to wrap up the show. I love it. It's ended on a really high note, and that applies to every human being, irrespective of whether you're in a single parent home or you are in a home where both parents are present and alive. Thank you so much, Sarah. It's been an awesome pleasure having you here.
My pleasure.
And we'll call you back again because we have so many questions. We didn't even manage to tackle all the questions. Thank you so much, viewer, for joining us. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be able to see our previous shows. And feel free to send in your comments and your questions. We shall be able to address them as they come. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Akapona baada ya kuvuja